Hello and welcome back. In this lesson we'll be continuing pronunciation, but we're focusing on listening to yourself, okay? In this lesson I want you to evaluate your own speech and compare it with an example. I want you to examine it, okay? So, record. So it's time for you to hear what you sound like. I will present you with some text on the next slide. I want you to record yourself reading the text. You can do this with most smartphones. Then I want you to listen to your recording. What words did you find difficult? Are there any areas where you sound off or not clear enough? So, take your time. Remember, go slowly. Record yourself. If you feel as though you make too many mistakes, just try again. Don't stress out. Just record yourself, and yeah, have fun. So here's the text. So I want you to read over this. So pause the video now and read and record yourself reading this text. Okay, so now that you have recorded yourself, I want you to listen to it. Listen to it. Okay, take the time to listen to it. So, I'll give you a few moments to listen to what you've just said. Go over as you're listening and follow the words. Are there any words that you missed out? Are there any words that you pronounced incorrectly? Check. Okay, I'll give you a few moments to do that. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to listen to my pronunciation. I want you to listen to my pronunciation, and then I want you to listen to your pronunciation. Was there anything different? Was there anything that I pronounced differently to you? So, listen to me. I can remember the feeling of elation as if it were yesterday. I had just completed the Paranporth Triathlon, an event made up of an 800-meter swim, a 38-kilometer cycle ride, and a 7.5-kilometer run. And exhausted, had collapsed on the beach. Around me, many other competitors were reacting similarly, but tough, so weary that we could barely speak. We all wore a look of exhausted joy. We were, as surfers say after a good session, stoked. A full Olympic triathlon consists of a 1.5-kilometer swim, a 40-kilometer cycle, and a 10-kilometer run. Dedicated training is required before taking one on, but there are easier options. A sprint triathlon consists of 750-kilometer swim, a 20-kilometer cycle, and a 5-kilometer run. A super sprint triathlon consists of a 400-meter swim, a 10-kilometer ride, and a 2.5-kilometer run. So listen to me. Were there any words that I pronounced differently to you? Some of the words in there were quite challenging. Paranporth was probably a very challenging one. It's because that's a place, so it's not a common vocabulary. But yeah, how did you do? Circle any words that you found difficult or more difficult than others. But yeah. We'll go on to the next text. So again, pause the video, record yourself speaking the text, and then listen to yourself. Okay? So I'll give you a few moments just to read this, and then listen to yourself, listen to your recording. Go over the words. What words did you find difficult? Enjoy. Okay, so I've given you some time to go over it. You can pause the video anyway, or rewind, so don't worry about that. So what I'll do now is, because you've gone through it, you've listened to yourself hopefully as well, I'll read through it. I want you to take note of any words that you might have pronounced differently to me. So, triathlon made its debut in the Olympics at the Sydney Games in 2000. An estimated 80,000 people watched the triathlon at the 2002 Commonwealth Games. The London Triathlon, one of the world's most popular, is now in its 11th year. Triathlon is the fastest growing sport in the UK, with a 10% year-on-year growth in competitor numbers. Last year's London Triathlon saw an extraordinary 11,000 entries, and across the UK, event organisers say the same thing. More and more people are signing up for the discipline that the observer might conclude is more like to torture than fun. So, how did you do? Did you find any words I pronounced differently? I think this text is a bit easier, it's a bit shorter. There weren't that many difficult words, to be honest. But how did you get on? So, you listened to me reading the same text. Are there any differences in how I read it compared with yours? If your pronunciation doesn't sound the same, ask yourself some of these questions. Are you moving your mouth the right way? Is your tongue in the right place? Are you stressing the right part of the word? So go through, listen to me again. Listen to where I stress the words in the sentences. Look where I move my mouth. You can't really see my tongue from here, but you can practice by yourself. And yeah, basically just, if you can keep doing this, keep practicing until you get it perfect. It's all about practice, remember that. So a good way of practicing your speech, if you don't have maybe a native speaker to speak to, is to listen to yourself. You can be your own critic. You can hear where you're saying words wrong or where you think you're pronouncing them wrong. Sometimes when you speak, you don't fully understand how you are sounding. So you need to make sure that you are sounding correct. So have fun, record yourself loads of times, maybe reading different texts. It's up to you, okay? Great. Thank you for this lesson. I look forward to speaking to you in the next lesson.